I don't know if you all know this out there, but the player base for Magic the Gathering is getting smarter. The player base is starting to evolve. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here, and thanks for finding me in this nacho cheese universe that we call YouTube. And of course, Magic the Gathering is awesome. I appreciate you guys stopping by today on my channel. The evolution of the player. It's a fascinating thing to me. I'm going to tell you a little story as we go along this video, so bear with me here. When I played Magic, you would sit at your local LGS, local little card shop, whatever. They sold puzzles and comics and all kinds of stuff to try to stay open back then. And you'd go to the front counter, put down your $3 and get a pack of whatever, Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, whatever they had in stock. You'd grab a pack. You'd open it, look through the cards, and hopefully add something to your deck or trade some cards to somebody else to get cards you needed. That's how we started out. And that went for a long time. Yeah, some of the cards started to have value. We realized that Moxes and Black Lotuses, Time Twisters, and they had value. We got that. By the time I left somewhere around 98, 99, full-time into school, didn't have any time or cash to spare, and I was just gone. I came back around 2008, 2009. My goodness, the game had evolved. I walked into a store, people are buying and selling cards, and we have eBay now at that point. No internet back in 93 that was going to help you. And you could look everything up and find out what the values of the cards were. Instantly, no Inquest magazines. And I looked at that point, I started buying into like Lorwyn, Shadow, More, Future, Sight. I was buying boxes, I was getting back in, buying packs here and there. And I fast forward now to today. And I was at a card shop on the way home. Stopped in. And there was these guys talking about getting 4 boxes of Dominaria United. 4 draft boxes. Maybe it was set. $170, whatever that was. It was $170 with tax they were talking about. I was only overhearing it as I was looking for some stuff I needed. And as they were about to get their credit cards out, their money, they're all around 19, 20. And what ends up happening is one guy says, hold on, before we buy this, what's the best card in the set? Shieldred, right? And they're kind of humming and hawing if it's the best card or not. And the guy goes, just look at the counter. Do they have this stuff in stock? They started talking to the owner, started looking through the stuff. And the owner had all kinds of cards like the Sarah Paragon, and we had Shieldred in there and stuff. And this guy convinced all of his buddies, after a little quick communique and talk, why buy the boxes and get all kinds of stuff they don't really care about, and just all of them spend $100 going for the key cards they wanted. So most of these guys walked away with a couple of Shieldred, a couple of Sarah Paragons, Joda, the Unifier, timeless piece of junk Lotus. And this was this guy Steve, by the way. I'm just going to name this guy Steve because he bought the timeless Lotus. Way to go, Steve. In case you watch my channel, way to go, Steve. Timeless Lotus. And they bought some cards. And all of them had a little, few bucks left over. Some of them asked for some commons and commons. And I know. You should wait. To me, I think you should wait longer for the prices to fall down. But they obviously believed that these are the hardest cards to get. They talked about watching some YouTube openings where people weren't getting any of the Shieldred and having a hard time getting a Sarah Paragon. So they just went and bought the cards they wanted. They put into little tiny trade binders. A couple of them fit them right into commander decks at the table there for the Shieldred card. And one guy was building some kind of like Joda deck he was working on. There's all kinds of pieces he was pulling apart and putting cards in. And I look at that and I go, look at the evolution of the player base there. They went from buying 4 boxes of set or draft, whatever it was. I wasn't really watching the boxes on the counter, but they had 4. And they went to singles. And they bought those cards. And the last couple of days we've talked about how the player base seems to be buying more singles. And it's definitely going that route. I've seen it from the emails, the Discord messages, my Instagram. I've seen what you guys are talking about. And I myself have started to change. I'm not opening a lot of boxes right now, because I would rather just buy some of the singles I need for individual decks, keep my stuff sealed for a future date, like a draft night with friends, stuff for the channel later down the road a couple of years from now, whatever it may be. But to space it all out and say, I better keep this stuff sealed. It has more value to me sealed right now than the individual cards I could go and pick up. And that's exactly what those younger kids were thinking. When I was a kid, I wouldn't have thought that way. It wouldn't have entered my brain to say, maybe I shouldn't just be buying packs. Maybe I should just take that couple of dollars and start trading a few bucks or a quarter here or there to get cards I need. It didn't occur to us as a collectible card game back then that this would be the better route to take. Now, there'll be people out there who will say this will not be the only route, because if less players are opening boxes and infusing that into the secondary market, then the dwindling supply of stock that's available from less boxes being opened, the price rises. That's true, and it will happen, which of course will make boxes more appealing for people to open, kind of like Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate stuff. But remember, those boxes still aren't being opened en masse. Remember that, guys. It's still a hated set. It's not loved, and that's the way it's going to go, at least for a while yet. But when you look at what people have done and how much the player base has learned, they're savvy, intelligent, they recognize when they're being ripped off. They don't buy the bad products anymore just because it's out there. Just because Wizards says, hey, buy this, less and less of you guys out there are buying that. You understand you shouldn't buy it, and you walk away and say, no thanks, maybe next time. We've seen those people who refuse to buy the collector box of Dominaria United. I'm not searching for a Lost Legend common when I can take that $300 and go buy In the Eye of Chaos. Go buy myself a Sword of the Ages and get a real Legends card. I get it. And by the way, it doesn't have to be a reserve list. I'm just using that as the example for the video. You guys know I like reserve list cards. But you could also take that $300 and buy a playset of Shieldred, a playset of Sarah Paragon. How many boxes did it take for people to open to get those cards? A lot more than 1 or 2 collector boxes though, right? That's the gambler's premium that you pay to crack boxes. And there will always, guys, don't kid yourselves, there will always be a segment that is going to crack boxes. They may have bigger wallets. They may just like that gambling feeling of doing it. I still crack packs all the time. I get it. I get that side of it. But the player base is changing. They are evolving to understand. And they get their information from YouTube. They check it out with friends and family when they're playing in their play groups. They talk about what they got. And everyone's compiling that information and putting it together in their own little data bank in their head going, well, this YouTuber guy said this. I watched this box opening video on that, which is what that Steve guy was talking about, how hard it was to get Shieldred. He goes, I saw the box video on that, and they all start making their own conclusions and calculations, and they're trying to sway opinions of people around them. Guys, it just shows how intelligent the player base has become, because people take snippets of information, they add it with snippets they've heard elsewhere, and they see how well they fit together. How true does this seem to me as a player listening to all these people talk? Does this seem more like fact now? And when you actually see the openings and see how it goes, you do start getting that kind of feeling. And that's what I've been hearing from you guys. So I wonder if there's a lot less people. You know, not everyone's a collector or an investor who wants to hold on to sealed product. They just want to play the game and have a good time. Spend a few bucks. I mean, everyone I hear is still going to pre-releases. They're like, $35 for a night? That's a pretty cheap night entertainment nowadays, because going to a movie and popcorn is like $50 a person. I totally get that too. I got your arguments. I understand. I still enjoy going to the pre-release too, and I still intend on going to Brothers War and going forward. And I'll keep those cards I get. And I still crack the odd pack here and there, but I'm not cracking 5 or 6 boxes like I used to. I don't jump in and just open this stuff anymore. I say, no, I'm going to keep this for a special occasion. And you guys are going further and saying, maybe I'll buy a box to store in a closet somewhere, but chances are I'm just going to buy some singles because Wizards is going to reprint it anyway, Moxman. That's what's going to happen. So I might as well enjoy the card for 4 or 5 years until they reprint it and crash the value down. That sounds pretty smart to me. It sounds like people have been listening and learning. It's like education or something in this secondary market world of Magic the Gathering. Now you can get to the point. Here we are. Take a pause for a second. Get yourself a popcorn. Come back with a drink. I'll pause for 3 seconds. 1, 2. Here we go again. Now you have Wizards of the Coast. The ever-evolving Wizards of the Coast trying to keep up with how intelligent players have become. Wizards of the Coast is trying to inject value into these cards. And they just haven't figured out the formula yet. They just haven't figured out how they're supposed to do it to make us believe in that value. Number 1, Wizards, stop changing the cards around so much. Gilded foils, textured foils, raised foils, indented foils, invisible foils. Whatever the flavor of the week they're coming with, they got to stick to a plan. They got to get this together. And once they get that formula figured out, after they get that ball rolling, you'll probably see more consistency in what they do, at least for a couple of years till they figure it's not working. But it is not easy. And they are trying to keep up and try to figure this out. And do I have the solution for them? It doesn't matter if I do or don't. They're not going to listen to me. I don't know how much they watch YouTube and follow all this stuff. But until they do, the players are going to be ahead of them. They're going to be smarter. And even when Wizards tries to throw you a curveball, most of you guys are going to sit back, lean against a wall and go, is that really a good deal? Let me think about that. Let me see what other people are saying. Let's go and check out what's happening on YouTube. Let's see what the comments and other variations are. You won't just buy something. You're going to learn and say, no, I'm going to wait. And I'm seeing that. So I don't know how fast Wizards has to be to get ahead of that curve. But most of you guys seem so far ahead of them and far ahead of where I was as a young man that I'm impressed. I really am. So guys, keep up the great work. I can see what's happening out there. I don't know when it'll turn that the boxes are, the price of singles will go too high. It probably will happen though, guys. It just won't happen for a while because there's still a lot of people cracking boxes. But more of the players out there are evolving with the times and saying, I'm not blowing money on this stuff. I'm not buying random boxes when I can get individual cards. And I get that. It's very cool. You guys are so smart, man. So let me know what you think in the comment sections. Of course, we've been talking about this, the single market, how things are moving in the secondary market, and the effects we're going to have on the market as this ever-evolving player base keeps changing with the time. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Looking forward to reading your comments. Have an awesome day, man. Have a nacho cheese day out there, okay? With a guy who never graduated Magic University. It's just the way it's going to be. All right, guys, have a great one. And of course, a shout out to all the amazing patrons on my channel. Guys, you rock and you know it's true. Can't wait to see you guys on the live streams every Sunday. Keep rocking. Sometimes, at the end of a video like this, I get really hungry and all I can think about is pizza. Like, I haven't had pizza in so long. I miss pizza, guys. That's what I'm thinking about today. I miss pizza. So, that's all I have to say is pizza. You can put that in the comment sections. Pizza! That way I know. Pizza.